Hi, this is Brijesh Dalmia, and today is 6th of August 2022, an important day in my life, and it's 6 o'clock in the evening, and today we are going to talk about how to grow from 50 crores to 500 crores. It's a very short session. I have only 4 or 5 slides to share with you, and so hang on. How to scale your AUM from 50 crores to 500 crores. And I will keep it very, very short. 3 days back, a company approached me to do a session for their employees, and they said, we want half a day session. I said, I have nothing to speak for half a day. Sometimes I have to exaggerate because more time, more money. The companies pay you more money if you speak for more time and consume more duration. To tell you how to scale your AUM from 50 crores to 500 crores, I have only 3-4 things to suggest you. Only 4-5 slides I will show you. So I want to keep things very, very simple. I have traveled this journey of 50 crores to 500 crores, how it happened with me and how this is happening with other mutual fund distributors I'm going to share with you right now. सबसे पहले, what is the most dangerous number in mutual fund distribution business? If you have AUM of 20 crores, it is very dangerous because at 20 crores, you start earning around 1 lakh rupees a month. In our country, if anybody is getting a job of 1 lakh rupees a month, he is super successful. He is 1 percentile of the country. You are better than 99% of the population. So, mutual fund distributors को ego आ जाता है कि अब मैं 1 लाख रुपए महीना कमाता हूँ और उसके बाद उनकी growth नहीं होती. So very dangerous. Cross this very early. And the second target is 100 crores. जैसे 3 डिजिट में आ जाता है ना, ये डबल डिजिट है, ये ट्रिपल डिजिट है, म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को लगता है मैं तो भगवान हो गया, मैं तो किंग हो गया हूँ, 50, 60, 70 लाख रुपए साल का कमाता हूँ. You are into the 0.1% of the whole population in the country, maybe in the world, 0.1%. If you want 60, 70, 80 lakh rupees adjusted to purchasing power parity, that is humongous. Somebody in India earning 60, 70 lakh rupees is equal to 2 crores in United States, because after taxes and rental, he doesn't save much. It's a lot of money. So please be careful that if you hit these numbers, you should very fast cross this number so that you can grow in life. Now, how can you grow from 50 crores to 500 crores? There are 2 ways to grow. The first is if you are managing your own clients, and the other is team. I will devote more time on the first part and no time on the team, because 95% mutual fund distributors are managing their clients self. They do not have a team. So I will talk about team, but I will tell you, if you are an individual mutual fund distributor, how should you achieve from 50 crores to 500 crores? I will finish this probably in the next 5 minutes. I have nothing much to speak about. I have 2 choices. One is that I can take a session of 8 hours to tell you how to reach from 50 crores to 500 crores. Or I take 8 minutes to explain you whether you agree or not, whether you apply your own philosophy, or you take my advice and do what I'm suggesting you. Growth will come from existing client. If you are already at 50 crores, the client acquisition phase is over in your life. Please understand that. From 50 crores to 500 crores, 90%, 80% of the assets will grow from your existing current clients that you have. Please understand that. Do not go after client, new client. Yes, new clients are important, references are important, but growth will come from existing clients. And if you are having self-managed clients, means you are the person, you are the team, you are one-man army who is selling to the client. Other people are working in your office to give support, not selling. The maximum you can have is 200 families. Retail, MNIs and HNIs. If you are working in a B30 city, very retail city, very small city, and completely into retail, then you can have 400 families, not more than that. So if you are having SIPs of 2,000 and 4,000 rupees, or you are having lump sum of 550,000 or 1 lakh, still you do not need more than 400 families. Please remember, do not go after 600, 800, 1,000, because being self-managed, it is impossible to manage more than 200, and it is impossible to manage 400, because out of this 400, you will not be able to meet a person a year. So there's no point, no need. मैं आपको बोलना चाहता हूं, if you want to reach 500 crores, 200 families max, and retail, अगर absolutely retail है, then 400. And this is the part you need to see very, very carefully. I will spend a couple of minutes here. 50 crores to 500 crores. Let us say you are today 50 crores. अगर आपका 10 है तो 10 से 100 कैसे जाएंगे, या 100 से 1000 कैसे जाएंगे? The percentage is the same. If you grow at 15% per year, industry is growing 18%. Remember that. So you should grow equal to industry or better than industry. If you have to grow in 15%, from 50 crores to 500 crores will take you 16 years. For this, you need M2M of 10%. Means बाजार अच्छा होगा, खराब होगा, डेट मार्केट अच्छा होगा, खराब होगा, इक्विटी मार्केट नुकसान होगा, फायदा, all taken into consideration, your 50 crores will grow at 10% CAGR. This is the assumption I'm taking. Equity will grow 12 to 15%, debt will grow 6 to 7%, average 70-30 equity, 60-40 equity debt portfolio आपका बुक्स में रहेगा. तो साल का बिना कुछ किए 10% की ग्रोथ आएगी आपकी. And if you have 5% SIP sales, means if your AUM is 50 crores and 5% means 2.5 crores, that is around 20 lakh rupees SIP book, which is very less. If you have 50 crores of AUM, you should have SIP book of 40 to 50 crores, 50 lakhs. But I'm saying even if you have 20 lakh rupees SIP book, you will grow at 15%. And I assume net sales to be zero, which will not be the case. The moment you hit 20%, M2M 10%, SIP 5%, net sales 5%. And this is the number you have to keep in mind, the third one. You should target to grow at 25%. Of course, you can grow 35 also, but I will focus on this more. This is very, very realistic. M2M से 10% आएगा, and with this, 50 to 500 crores you can reach in 10 years time. So 10 साल में आपका 500 करोड़ का AUM हो जाएगा. Current brokerage के हिसाब से 3-4 करोड़ रुपए की कमीशन हो जाएगी आपकी साल की, without GST, हाँ, क्योंकि GST एक्स्ट्रा है. यहाँ पे भी मैंने मार्क टू मार्केट पकड़ा है 10%. SIP book 10%. SIP book 10% मतलब क्या हो गया? 50 crores का 10%, 5 crores. Means 40 lakh rupees SIP book. So if your SIP is 0.8% of your AUM today, and you maintain that 0.8% for the next 10 years, 10% of your net sales will come from SIP. So 20% you will achieve only with SIP and M2M. And I'm giving you a target of 5% of net sales other than SIP. यानी लमसम जो आपका रिडेम्पशन हो रहा है और आपका नेट सेल्स हो रहा है, उसका टारगेट 5%. मींस इफ यू हैव 50 crores, 2.5 crores नेट सेल्स लमसम STP, SWP से आएंगे, and as the AUM grows 5%. This is quite achievable. Please write yes if this is quite achievable. This 25% number in the chat box. Let me see how many of you are writing yes. 10% M2M, 10% SIP, and 5% net sales. The moment you do this, without doing anything, you grow to 500 crores in 10 years. Okay. We are having, one of the speakers on our platform, national conference, who did from 20 crores to 500 crores in 8 years. So it is possible. And if you want to grow faster, you can do it in 8 years. So first of all, please understand, 50 to 500 will not happen in 2 years and 3 years and 5 years. Impossible, very difficult. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 person can do it. So we will keep it to 99% people who are attending this webinar. For 35% CAGR growth, you can reach 50 crores to 500 crores in 8 years. Again, M2M 10%, SIP 10%, net sales 15%. And this is also achievable for 2-3 years. But having 15% net sales year on year basis, apart from SIP, is not easy. So the day you reach 300 crores, you have to do 50 crore net sales. Itna aasan nahi hota, dost. So, but some people can do it. So this is the whole mathematics. You can take a picture. This will be recorded and will be put up on the Masterstroke website also. This is the slide you have to keep in mind from 50 to 500, and it is not difficult. You just have to focus. इसके लिए आपको ये भी ध्यान में रखना है, ये जो मैंने आपको बताया, growth will come from existing client and 200 families max. You have to keep these two things in mind and these numbers. And with this, you will achieve 50 crores to 500 crores. इसके लिए आपको करना क्या है? Follow 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule means existing client. First of all, stay with existing client 80% of the time. And within existing client, focus on the top 20% of the client. 80% of your time should be given to the top 20%. So what I'm going to say, from 50 crores to 500 crores, you will reach there with top 40 clients that you have today. The rest 160 will contribute 20%, and the rest clients that you're going to get in the next 5 years, 7 years will contribute to 5-10% of the total growth. But maximum growth will come with the first 20% of your client to follow 80-20 rule. And this 80-20 rule also means that, focus absolutely very hard on your top 20% of the client, and the bottom 80% of the client, you just handle them. Do not write long plans for them. Do not spend a lot of time with them. Focus, and some of them can become large, but they will not because you're not giving enough time. That's okay. गलती तो कहीं भी होगी, but उसके cost पे आपको बड़े client को छोड़ना नहीं है. Again, very simple strategy which you are doing. कुछ नहीं करना है दोस्त. किसी और इस इवेंट पे जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, समझने की जरूरत नहीं है कि आप हासिल कैसे करेंगे. 2 लोगों से रोज मिलो 10 साल तक, यानी कितने हुए? 5,000 मीटिंग्स हुए. Just meet 5,000 people, you will reach 500 crores of AUM. Hire employees. And the third and last activity that you have to do, yes, Pareto principle, Yogesh Ladau. Hire people. The moment you reach 50 crores, hire 2-3 people. The moment you have 100 crores, you hire one more person, and that's it. 3-4 people are more than enough. I don't know why some mutual fund distributors at 100, 200, 300 crore have 7, 8, 10 employees. I have 3 people managing my mutual fund entire business. Finally, if you want to grow with teams, I have only one slide, and then I will say thank you to you and I will answer your questions. Completely different ball game. Leadership skills are required. It is capital intensive because if you pay salary to your people or you pay sub-brokerage commission to your people, paying salary is capital intensive. They will not be profitable for 3-4 years. If you're doing on a sub-broker channel, it's a different ball game altogether. So whether you get 500 crores, your income will not be that large. And it's a low margin business. And if you want to learn more about how to grow with teams, the first step is that you have to cut down your own clients. You cannot have a team business with you having 200 families because your time will be consumed handling those 200 families. Then how will you manage your team? The leadership is gone. You don't have time to manage your team. You don't have time to manage your sales team or sub-brokers when you go into your own business. The first step is that you have to decide whether you want to be a seller, own business, or you want to have a leadership team business. And if you want to have a team business, we can do a separate session, separate understanding how that can be done. We can have more experts who can guide you about how to handle team business. But if you are all looking for your own business from 50 to 500 crores, this is all I have to share with you. Thank you so very much. And I will answer 2-3 questions before I close the recording here. Do you need office? For 50 to 500 crores, you don't need office, but you should have an office, some space of 100, 200 square feet. It looks professional, hire some people there. So my answer is thus, you should have an office. Net says 3 to 4%. Can you explain? Navneet Sharma is saying my SIP book is 41,000 and AUM of, I don't understand that. Perfectly. So with this, I will say thank you to all of you, and I will stop recording here, and I'm available to answer all your questions.